Let's keep going. Yes. Molly was so happy, so she hugged her mom and she started to eat her food. And she ate all of her food, and Molly took the plate out and away. And she was done. She sung her favorite lullaby, and she closes her eyes and started to sleep. And one her friend did the same. The next day, October 10, 2021, Monday. Molly woke up and heard her mom calling her name. So she looked at Mr. Mittens and took him with her and went out of her room, leaving Miss Bo behind. And she went downstairs and went to the kitchen and saw her mom cooking her some breakfast. She's cooking pancakes and waffles with maple syrup. Oh, hey there, darling. How did you sleep? Well, Molly sat down on the dinner table. Yeah, I slept great. How did you sleep, Mama? Well, I didn't sleep because me and Esther had a bad night. Why? What happened? Well, she started at the wall and started to say some random things, and she passed out, so we called an ambulance, and right now she's in the hospital. So that's why. Was that was sad that Esther was at the hospital. Oh, Molly was. Oh, I'm supposed. Molly was sad that Esther has to go to the hospital. Oh, I feel so bad for her. Well, Isaac is at the hospital too with Esther, so that's why he used to be a doctor. He once used to be a doctor or a nurse, so he's keeping her there for one day. So yeah, Mother noticed that Molly didn't have Miss Bow with her, and yet Mr. Mittens. Why don't you have Miss Bow, and yet why didn't you have Mr. Mittens, but yet she meant to take Miss Bow. She meant to take Miss Bow, not Mr. Mittens. She noticed that she didn't take Mr. Mittens with her, and yet Miss Bow. Why did you have Mr. Mittens, and yet why do you have Miss Bow and yet not Mr. Mittens, dear? Molly didn't want to tell her that he is creepy, so she thinks about an excuse. Oh, I didn't notice that. Sorry, do you want me to go get it? Yes, please, if you don't mind that. Okay, I'll get him. She got up. She got off of her chair and ran out to the kitchen and ran upstairs. And she opened the door and grabbed Mr. Mittens. She went into her room and grabbed Mr. Mittens and got her shoes on and her backpack and took it with her and ran out of her room and went downstairs and went back to the kitchen and sat back down and ate her food and drank some milk. And the bus was waiting for her, and she kissed her mom goodbye and ran out of the house and ran to the bus and got on the bus and saw Ruby, so she went towards Ruby and sat next to her. Hey, Ruby. Hey, Molly. Hey, Rubes. Rubes? Oh, sorry. It's a nickname I want to give you. Sorry. Ruby was happy that she got her new nickname, so she hugged her. Hey, Rubes. Hey. Rubes is a good name. I love it. Molly was happy too, so she hugged her back. And Zach got on the bus and saw Ruby and Molly, so he ran up to them. Hey, bus driver. Ooh, bus driver. Sit down on your seat, Zach. I not on feet, I meant seat. Sit down on your seat, Zach. Sorry. It's fine. Just sit down and then I will go. Yes, sir. Good. Zach sat down on his seat. So, how was y'all night? Good. I slept nice. And Jake went into the bus and saw Zach and Ruby and Molly. So he sat next to Zach and have a good conversation. And when the bus stopped, they dropped off the kids, including Zach and Molly and Jake, into school. And after the drop off, they headed to their lockers and went to their classes. Miss Smith. Okay, class. I'm Miss Smith, your history teacher, and today I will be teaching y'all about the Incas and the Aztecs. Now, who wants to start? Who wants to know about the Incas and the Aztecs? Plot twist, I actually learned about this in 4th grade. Molly raised her hand and to answer. Yes, Molly? That they play games and sacrifice one another, and how the chocolate does not have any taste no sugar, and how it tastes better. Miss Smith wrote all that she said in the board. Good, Molly. Now, how do they do for a reason, and why do they play those games to sacrifice one another? Molly, because of their religion, and how they play game like the game where they playing. They don't use their hands. They use their heads to bounce the ball. If they use their hands, they're disqualified. Miss Smith was proud of Molly, but she wanted to hear the different person about the Incas and Aztecs. Good, Good job, Molly, but I want to hear somebody else. But thank you, Molly, for your dissipation. You're welcome. When the class was done, it was lunch time, and Molly and Ruby got to their food, and Jake and Zach did the same. And they sat next to each other, and they all ate their food and had a nice conversation. But Molly heard a demonic voice calling her name, so she got distracted by the voice and the yellow light at the corner of the hallway to the bathroom. So she got up and started walking towards it. Molly? Where are you going? Where is she going? Maybe the bathroom? Maybe the bathroom. Seems like it's here. I'll go after her. You guys stay here, okay? Okay. Sounds like a perfect plan. Yup. Ruby got up and went after her. In the hospital, Esther was a child. Esther looking, well, Black Void. She, what this is about, Esther was daydreaming and she blacked out. So Esther blacked out. She was a child looking at a yellow light, and the black void turns into a school bathroom where Molly is about to encounter something strange. So she saw the entity behind her. Look out, Molly! Molly heard Esther's voice saying, look out. So she ducked, and the entity tried to ran out of the bathroom. The entity tried to strike for her, so he tried to scratch her, but she ducked. And the entity and Molly ran out of the bathroom and bumped into Ruby, and held her hands, and ran out to the bathroom lunch table where Zach and Jake were. Molly hugged Ruby tight. Well, Molly, which is me, I grabbed Ruby's hand and ran out of there. And table and cried. Ruby hugged her back and rubbed her head. It's okay, Molly. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm here. Don't worry. Ruby started drying her tears and hugged her again, and Molly hugged her again to Zach too, and Zach and Jake joined in a hug because they felt bad, and after a minute they stopped hugging. When the lunch was over, they went back to their regular school bells, and when school was over, Mr. Hoptoy wasn't, which means Mr. Hop was not in Ruby's room. He was at Molly's room, and when they got home, they hugged each other goodbyes and went to their homes. Hello, sweetie. How was school? Molly didn't want her mom to know about the bathroom, so she keeps it original. School was amazing. Yeah? What did you learn today that made you happy to learn about? Oh, history class was amazing because I learned from the past of reading about it in math class. I didn't know what algebra is. So yeah, in social studies it was okay, but because social study was just a social study, so yeah. Molly noticed something off about her. Are you okay? Is something you seemed so traumatizing? Oh, I'm just scared. Scared of what? What happened? Did someone or a school shooter on your first day of school? No. What? What? No. I'm scared of people. I get it. Being used to people ain't easy. But sometimes some little people can be really good, remember? Ruby helped you along with Zach and Jake. Molly was surprised that she knew about the accident. The tree falling accident? Yeah, Zach's mom told me about it all along with Jake's mom. So sweet. They were sweet. Mom giggled. Now, you can play with your friends. Now. Oh, and by the way, you're going to the store, okay? Oh, okay, Mama. She went outside and saw her friends, and her friends looked at Molly and ran after her, and she looked at Ruby and ran after her and hugged her. Are you okay, Molly? Yeah. Bye.